Welcome back. Tomorrow is primary day in Colorado, and as Democrats debate the direction of their party, two key races could provide some clues on the durability of the progressive message after last week's win in New York City. Veteran Congresswoman Diana DeGette is facing a challenge from Democratic Socialist Malat Quirozi, who enjoys significant progressive backing, including Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator John Hickenlooper is trying to fend off his own progressive challenger as he runs for a second term, with State Senator Julia Gonzalez making a bid for his seat. Meanwhile, primary voters are also set to weigh in on the race to replace term-limited Governor Jared Polis. Senator Michael Bennet and State Attorney General Phil Weiser are in a tight race for the Democratic nomination. And joining me now is one of those candidates in that race for Colorado, the Attorney General from that state, Phil Weiser. Mr. Weiser, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan. Great to join you.
All right, let's start with your message heading into Election Day. What exactly is your sell to Colorado voters as they head to the polls?
What Colorado voters know about my campaign is I'm committed to fighting for them, whether it's taking on the lawless, bullying Trump administration. We filed our 67th lawsuit today, standing up for Colorado, taking on Big Pharma. We brought back close to $1 billion to address the opioid crisis and put that money to work to save lives. Corporate landlords, Live Nation, Ticketmaster. I'm going to always fight for the people of Colorado. And secondly, if you look at our campaign, we're running a people power campaign, and the campaign against us has out-of-state billionaires, corporate money, special interests. What Coloradans know about my commitment is my true north is to serve the people of Colorado, and I believe in doing it at the grassroots. And finally, when we're looking for someone to lead our state, we want someone who's ready to take the work on, who knows our state inside and out, knows state government. Senator Michael Bennet has 18 years experience in the Senate. He'll be a chair of a committee this fall when the Dems take the Senate. It doesn't make sense to take him out of his strength and take my abilities off the field where I can serve the state level, which is why this race has a famous bumper sticker now. Phil Weiser for governor, Michael Bennet for Senate.
An interesting strategy, to say the least, touting your opponent's upside. But let me get back to your initial point about your efforts as Attorney General to fight back against the Trump administration. I think you would concede that the role of Attorney General is a bit different than the role of governor. What does it mean in terms of fighting and this effort of pushing back against the Trump administration? As governor, won't you need to work with the administration on a whole host of issues? Is there any world in which you'll be able to develop a positive relationship with Trump administration officials to the benefit of the voters of Colorado?
Ryan, there's several points there, and there's a philosophical question that governors across the U.S., take J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, have had to deal with, which is how can we lead with moral clarity? And my view is when you have a lawless bullying administration that says to Colorado, for example, we want to tell you how to conduct your elections. We want to tell you to let out a former clerk, county clerk, Tina Peters, of prison because it's part of a conspiracy theory.
To be clear, it was your Democratic governor that released her from prison. That was not the Trump administration that did that, sir, right?
Well, but here's the thing. The Trump administration had a bullying campaign. Our current Democratic governor decided, yes, we will accede to this request, let her out with a commutation. My point is that's wrong. And what Coloradans know about me is I will fight for what's right, stand the line, stand up for our values, our principles. And here's where it's relevant. A lot of the state agencies are the ones that are affected when a federal government operates illegally and harmfully. I, as governor, I'm in a position to direct those state agencies to bring lawsuits, working with the Attorney General, who will be a partner. And so the skills, the commitment, and the values I've shown as Attorney General, they're directly relevant to how I'll lead as governor.
And I understand that there are a whole host of issues that you oppose the Trump administration on, but can you give me even one example of a way that you could work with the administration going forward if you become governor?
I'm going to give you a few examples. Let me start with how I'm currently doing it as Attorney General. As Attorney General, I'm currently working side by side on the antitrust case against Google. It's a monopolization case that we are working side by side. When this administration works in a lawful, appropriate way on the merits, then absolutely we'll work together. And there'll be plenty of ways for us to work together on how we lower healthcare costs, taking novel experiments here, just like currently Governor Polis is doing, working with the FDA to import drugs so people get access to lower drugs. That's a collaboration that's about how we support people, how we make life more affordable here. We've got a real challenge right now with housing costs. I'm looking to lean in with innovation. The federal government's passing a bipartisan bill on housing, assuming it gets signed by the president. I'm excited to get to work with the federal government, with other states. And finally, fighting forest fires, something we need to do with our federal partners, state, local, federal level. So when this administration works together lawfully, count me as a partner. When they try to intimidate me, try to harm Colorado, break the law, I'll stand up for what's right.
All right, let's get back to this novel campaign approach that you've taken in highlighting the positive aspects of your opponent in Senator Bennet, whose record you've praised. You, as you told us just a few minutes ago, that throwing away his experience would be, quote, a waste for Colorado. Why do you believe that his experience is good enough for him to represent Coloradans in Washington, but not in Denver?
Jim Collins, who wrote a book called Good to Great, says you need the right people on the bus in the right seats. When you're looking at my skills, my accomplishments in an executive role at the state level, enforcing the law, whether it's our insurance commission, our public health department, I know how to be an effective enforcer. Whether it's working on legislation with our state legislature, working on regulations, I've done that effectively. Administering programs like in the opioid crisis. So I'm looking at being governor with a track record of accomplishments and experience, which is why more people in every single elected office, current and former, you could name, county commissioner, DAs, school board, have endorsed me than Senator Bennet. There's one category he's got more support, members of Congress. He does know Congress better than I do. He does have experience in Congress. That counts for a lot. What makes the most sense for Colorado when looking at the two of us is keep Michael Bennet in the Senate and make me Colorado's next governor.
All right, let's talk about the future of the Democratic Party. We saw a number of progressives in New York City win elections last week. Some even describe themselves as socialists. Where do you see the future of the party? Is there enough room in your party for everyone from moderate Republicans to people that describe themselves as socialists?
I am absolutely a big tent person who believes in diversity of viewpoints, who believes in finding common ground on our values and fighting for people. What I have done in Colorado in this campaign is show up everywhere. I went to a Colorado Muslim Votes forum, and I was the only candidate who showed up, gave some answers that they didn't necessarily want to hear, but they appreciate me for showing up. They endorsed me for showing up. Colorado Indivisible endorsed me because of my deep commitment to the grassroots. We in Colorado believe in learning from one another. And Roy Romer, a former governor, had this really important teaching, which applies across the spectrum. All truth is partial. When someone says to me they're concerned about something, instead of writing someone off right away, I want to say, tell me more. Let me learn. And I've been clear about my values. I've been clear about what I'll fight for. I've also been clear that I believe in an inclusive party and inclusive Colorado.
Okay, Attorney General Phil Weiser, good luck tomorrow. We'll be watching your race very closely. We appreciate you being on Meet the Press.
Thank you, Ryan.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.